not only did they want to go into swine, which is a really dirty animal, but those swine, once they were inside of them, they actually ran and jumped off the cliff into the ocean,
Yeah.
and I even think it's either Proverbs or Psalms, I can't remember exactly, but he even talks about that there's these spirits, they dwell in the oceans, in
Yeah.
the waters, in the abyss. So I think too that there's a connection with that. We see the UFO community talking about it.
Yeah.
We see a lot of declassified material that's coming out talking about certain objects that are flying in and out of the water, and it seems to be that the water is not even something that slows these kinds of crafts
Yeah.
down. I don't know if they are crafts or if it's an illusion of a craft. The fact is that it's a hot spot.
Yeah. And even in the Bible too, like when the one time that the waters tried to kill him, tried to kill Jesus, he stood up and said, "Be still." When he was in his crew, he was in the back, he was sleeping. They were like, "Master, teacher, teacher, we're gonna die." And he gets up, he says, "Be still." And whatever happened was so powerful, it scared all of them. Like, "Oh my gosh, I can't. Who is this? Who is this? Like, even controls the spirits." But like everywhere he got on the water, like I said, man, it fought him, it tossed him back and forth, right? And so,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's crazy.
I'd like to throw another question at you here, man. Like to,
Yeah.
not to, since you just brought it up on that thing, is when where are you at with the UFO, ETs, aliens, demons, deception thing? I mean, just from your spiritual standpoint, man, where do you stand on that? No wrong answer, Stephen.
Yeah, no, right. It's these things that dwell in like the second heaven, right? In these
Mhm.
heavenly realms. And so it was obviously something that was created before Earth. We can see that from Job.
Mhm.
So I think the space is occupied by, it could be multiple things. It could be some things that are, of the good team and some things that are of the bad team. I can't say that it's not. But what I can say is, when we're looking at the propaganda being thrown around these concepts, I do think that these UFOs, this phenomenon at itself, has something to do with the preparing the world for some sort of new world order event,
Mhm.
right? Like we heard it, Reagan talk about it at the United Nations. That if the world was opposed of some sort of extraterrestrial threat, then we would all come together,
Yeah.
right? So I think this could be something to push us towards some sort of delusion or deception where, when we do see these things, it could be two ideas, right? It could be
Mhm.
either two psyops, I kind of like to call it, where either it's Christ coming back,
Mhm.
for his church, or it's the fact that it's this illusion to get people to come together as like a new world order government. I
Yeah.
guess some things get mixed in with like Project Bluebeam and all
Yeah.
that kind of stuff. I think even that it's possible that our government has this kind of technology and they're able to mimic some of the things that are going on, right?
Yeah.
It's a big shotgun blast, right? Just down a hallway hoping to
Yeah.
hit something, if that
Yeah.
makes any sense.
Yeah, total sense, man. Like I said, I've thought for a while now. Like I know there's a big debate going on in the church about the Galveston Bible adding in the if the rapture is real or not real, or it doesn't, or whatever. But I always thought, well, I didn't always think this, but I've been thinking over the last couple of years that we know these things are legitimate, and we know that they already know what's going on. And I said this before. Uh, there are satanic forces in higher places in the government. They are directly working with these things. They know that a war is coming, a judgment is coming. They think they're going to win. They're preparing for it. And I always thought that they would use the rapture and just say that it was a mass alien abduction and that the world has to come together because they're coming back, right? And we got to prepare, right? And so we're going to unify our forces and everything like for that nature. But I definitely I'm with your stance on that. Is that I don't think this is a sniper shot for them. I think this is a shotgun blast. They have multiple things piled up, that they're going to try to
Mhm.
launch at to see what possibly sticks with it. to, you know, to move.
What's crazy too is
Mm.
what I think plays into this idea of this new world order as well is like the Gnostic and the Satanic view that Lucifer, you know, pushes on those two groups. And what I mean by that is that the Gnostics and the Satanists, they actually believe that this world will be given to Lucifer at some point to rule this
Sorry, I didn't
this
mean to laugh.
realm. No,
Yeah.
I'm with you. It's crazy. You know,
That's
to rule this earth,
Yeah.
right? And God is going to take his people out of here and
Mm.
go to that new earth,
Yeah.
right? That new heaven, that new earth.
Yeah.
But he's going to leave Lucifer here with his you know, captains and merchants and all this stuff, and he's going to build this idea of this Atlantis, right?
Mm.
And what really kind of opened it up for me was digging into Atlantis and then making some other connections in Enoch. So in Enoch, well, first of all, in Atlantis, there's 10 kingdoms, right?
Mhm.
Which kind of correlate with Revelation, to where when this beast is coming up out of the
Mhm.
sea, there's you know, there's what I think it's seven heads and 10 horns or something like that. Well,
10
there's
horns.
10 kings.
Yes.
Yes, there's 10 kings, right? It's this idea
Yeah.
of 10 kings.
Yeah.
Well, looking at Enoch and making a connection with that, you know, for there was 200 angels that came down, but then Enoch also says that 20 of them ruled over the 200. So
Yeah.
when you do that math, that's a ratio of you know, like 10 kingdoms, right?
Yeah.
So it's like they each had 20 angels, right? So each king had 20 angels under his rule, if
Yeah.
that makes any sense.
No,
And then
totally does.
which would be 10, right? So
Yeah.
there's this idea that the fallen have, that Lucifer has, that they want to establish this new Atlantis. We saw Nimrod trying to do it with the Tower of Babel,
Mhm.
and I believe Cain, and when he was building his cities and all this stuff, I think he was also trying to do it then as well. And it's like history always repeats itself. It's something we say in the medical field all the time.
All
If
the
you have
time.
one medical problem, you better believe it's going to happen at some point in your life again.
Mhm.
It's just, and it plays in with Ecclesiastes 1:9, right? Where nothing new is under the sun. This is the nature and the playbook that Satan uses. It doesn't really change, right? He just kind of takes the ingredients that kind of God, or he steals the ingredients or tries to steal the ingredients, I like to say, of things of God, but then he kind of counterfeits it and makes it into his own to try and, you know, build something that of his own, which he can't, right? He's not a creator. He's not an author, right? He's someone who's plagiarizing and stealing constantly.
Subscribe now and turn on the notifications to join us on this extraordinary journey into the unknown.